The actors, the voices that have soundtracked your life, the characters who've made you laugh until your sides hurt. They're hiding battles you never imagined. Right now, as you're watching this, some of Hollywood's most beloved stars are fighting for their lives in ways that would break your heart if you truly knew. Stay with me, because the names on this list will shock you. The battles they're facing will move you, and the time some of them have left will remind you that every single day is a gift we should never take for granted. Tim Curry, the legend who refused to be silenced. When you think of Tim Curry, your mind probably goes straight to that unforgettable performance in Rocky Horror Picture Show, that wild, magnetic energy that made him a cult icon for generations. But what you might not know is that in 2012, this larger-than-life performer faced a moment that could have ended everything he loved about his craft. A severe stroke hit Tim Curry like lightning, stealing away his mobility in an instant. For most people, this would have been the end of the story, a final curtain call for a career built on physical presence and that distinctive, commanding voice. But Tim Curry isn't most people. While his body was betraying him, his spirit remained unbreakable. The stroke changed everything and nothing at the same time. Yes, it took away his ability to move as he once did, but it couldn't touch what made him truly special, that passion for performance that burns in his soul. Instead of retreating into silence, Curry pivoted to voice acting, pouring his heart into animated films and television shows. His voice, that powerful instrument that had captivated audiences for decades, became his lifeline back to the world he loved. Think about that for a moment. When life dealt him the cruelest possible blow, he didn't give up. He didn't let the stroke define him or limit him. He found a new way to be Tim Curry, to give audiences that magic they'd always loved about him. His resilience isn't just inspiring, it's a masterclass in refusing to let circumstances write the final chapter of your story. Today, Tim Curry continues to work, continues to create, continues to prove that passion and determination can triumph over any obstacle life throws at you. His journey reminds us that sometimes our greatest victories come not from avoiding life's hardships, but from learning how to dance with them. Neil Diamond and Sam Neill, legends facing their greatest battles. Neil Diamond's voice has been the soundtrack to countless love stories, graduations, and moments of pure joy. Sweet Caroline isn't just a song, it's a piece of Americana that brings entire stadiums to their feet. Born to Polish and Russian immigrant parents who struggled financially, Diamond's journey to global stardom was already the stuff of dreams. But in 2018, reality delivered a blow that would test everything he'd built. Parkinson's disease. Those two words changed everything for the man whose voice had brought so much happiness to the world. This progressive neurological disorder doesn't just affect movement, it steals the very essence of what made Neil Diamond a performer. The tremors, the balance issues, the way it slowly robs you of control over your own body. For someone whose life was built on live performance, it felt like a death sentence. But watch how he handled it. Diamond didn't hide. He didn't retreat in shame. He completed his 50th anniversary tour, giving everything he had left to the fans who had loved him for decades. When he finally made the heartbreaking decision to retire from touring, he did it with grace and dignity that left audiences in tears. By 2023, he had embraced this new chapter, dedicating time to family and well-being while leaving behind a musical legacy that will outlive us all. Meanwhile, Sam Neill was building his own legacy on the big screen. From the wonder-filled paleontologist in Jurassic Park to the complex characters in Peaky Blinders, Neill had mastered the art of making audiences believe in whatever world he inhabited. But in 2022, his real-world story took a terrifying turn that no script could have prepared him for. Angioimmunoblastic T-cell lymphoma, a rare and aggressive blood cancer that started as small, unnoticed lumps but quickly became a life-threatening ordeal. Neil faced this battle head-on with the same determination he brought to every role. Chemotherapy, anti-cancer medications, a grueling journey that would have broken lesser spirits. But in March 2023, he shared news that brought hope to everyone who had been following his story. He was in remission, cancer-free. Both men proved that true strength isn't about avoiding life's hardest moments. It's about facing them with courage, grace, and an unshakable determination to keep moving forward. Dustin Diamond, the heartbreak we never saw coming. Screech Powers was more than just a character. He was the awkward, lovable heart of an entire generation's childhood. Dustin Diamond brought that role to life with such genuine sweetness that millions of kids saw themselves in his goofy, endearing performance on Saved by the Bell. He was the friend we all wanted, the one who made us laugh even when everything else felt complicated. But child stardom is a double-edged sword that cuts deeper than most people realize. As the years passed and the spotlight moved on, Dustin found himself trapped between who he used to be and who he was trying to become. His later years were marked by controversy, a tell-all memoir that painted a darker picture of his Saved by the Bell days, legal troubles that overshadowed his legacy, and the kind of public struggles that make you wonder if fame is worth the price. Yet none of that prepared anyone for what came next. In 2021, Dustin discovered a lump in his throat. What started as concern quickly became terror when doctors delivered the diagnosis: small cell carcinoma, an aggressive form of cancer that had already reached advanced stages. He was only 44 years old, the same age when most people are hitting their stride, thinking they have decades ahead of them. The battle was brief and brutal, just 3 weeks. That's all the time Dustin Diamond had to fight the disease that would ultimately take his life. 3 weeks to say goodbye, to make peace with whatever regrets he carried, to face the reality that Screech Powers would live forever. But Dustin Diamond's story was ending far too soon. His death hit differently than other celebrity passings. This wasn't an aging icon who had lived a full life. This was someone who grew up alongside an entire generation, whose face was as familiar as a childhood friend's. It was a stark reminder that cancer doesn't care about your age, your fame, or how much joy you've brought to the world. It only cares about cells dividing, spreading, conquering. Dustin Diamond's story teaches us that behind every performer we think we know, there's a human being fighting battles we can't see, carrying pain we can't imagine, and deserving of compassion even when they stumble along the way. Selma Blair and Kathy Bates, warriors in their own right. Selma Blair made us believe in Mean Girls and Legal Blondes, brought complexity to characters in Hellboy, and carved out a space in Hollywood with her unique blend of vulnerability and strength. But her greatest role has been one she never auditioned for, becoming the face of courage in the battle against multiple sclerosis. For years before her 2018 diagnosis, Selma endured symptoms that doctors couldn't explain or chose to overlook. The fatigue that felt like drowning, the inexplicable pain, the way her body seemed to be betraying her in ways that made no medical sense. By the time MS was finally identified, it had already taken a significant toll, forcing her to make the agonizing decision to step away from the career she loved. But here's what makes Selma Blair extraordinary. She refused to suffer in silence. Instead of hiding her struggle, she turned it into a mission, using her platform to educate people about MS and prove that a diagnosis doesn't have to be a death sentence for your dreams. As of 2024, she's reclaiming control of her life, making strides toward returning to acting, showing the world that multiple sclerosis might slow her down, but it will never stop her. Kathy Bates represents everything we love about actresses who command the screen with pure talent and authenticity. At 76, her legacy includes Academy Awards, Emmys, Golden Globes, and performances that have become part of cinema history. But her personal story includes battles that would have ended lesser careers before they even began. 2 separate cancer diagnoses tested Bates in ways that no script could prepare her for. First, ovarian cancer in 2003, a fight that required everything she had. Then, just as she thought she could breathe again, breast cancer struck in 2012. The double mastectomy that followed led to lymphedema in her arms, adding yet another layer of physical challenges to overcome. But watch what Kathy Bates did with her pain. Instead of retreating, she became a passionate advocate for cancer awareness and lymphedema research. She transformed her personal hell into a platform for helping others, proving that sometimes our greatest trials become our most important work. As a national spokesperson for lymphedema advocacy, she continues to fight for people facing similar struggles, showing that true strength isn't about avoiding battle, it's about turning your scars into weapons of hope for others. Both women exemplify a truth that's often hard to accept. Sometimes the roles that define us aren't the ones we choose, but the ones life forces us to play. And sometimes those unwanted roles reveal a strength we never knew we possessed. Val Kilmer and Alex Trebek, when voices are silenced. Val Kilmer's voice was his instrument, sharp, charismatic, unforgettable. Whether he was delivering Iceman's cocky one-liners in Top Gun, channeling Jim Morrison's haunting magnetism in The Doors, or bringing a brooding complexity to Batman, his distinctive voice was as much a part of his identity as his face. Then, throat cancer tried to steal it all away. Diagnosed in 2015, Kilmer faced a battle that threatened not just his life, but the very essence of what made him a performer. The procedures aimed at saving his voice ultimately damaged his vocal cords so severely that speaking became a struggle. Chemotherapy ravaged his body. 2 tracheostomies left visible reminders of just how close he came to losing everything. But here's the thing about Val Kilmer. He refused to let cancer write the ending to his story. Even after the disease took his voice, his spirit remained unshaken. He found new ways to create, new outlets for his artistic expression, and the courage to share his journey in his memoir, I'm Your Huckleberry. His bravery in the face of such devastating loss reminds us that identity isn't just about what we can do. It's about who we choose to be when everything we thought defined us is stripped away. Alex Trebek, meanwhile, had spent 37 seasons becoming America's most trusted quiz show host. Over 8,200 episodes of Jeopardy made him a Guinness World Record holder and a beloved fixture in millions of homes. His intelligence, wit, and gentle authority made him feel like a favorite teacher or wise uncle who happened to live inside our television sets. When Trebek announced his stage 4 pancreatic cancer diagnosis in 2019, it felt personal to viewers who had welcomed him into their homes for nearly 4 decades. Pancreatic cancer is notorious for its low survival rates and grim prognoses, but Trebek faced it with the same calm dignity he brought to every show. He didn't hide from the diagnosis. Instead, he used his platform to raise awareness about early detection and the importance of hope. What made Trebek's battle so inspiring wasn't just his bravery. It was his determination to keep working, to keep serving the audience that had supported him for so long. He continued hosting Jeopardy during his treatment, showing millions of viewers what grace under pressure really looks like. His openness about the journey, his willingness to be vulnerable while maintaining his strength, created a masterclass in how to face mortality with dignity. When Alex Trebek passed away on November 8, 2020 at age 80, it marked the end of an era. But his legacy extends far beyond game show hosting. He showed us how to face our deepest fears with courage, how to turn personal struggle into public service, and how to make every day count when you know your time is limited. Both men teach us that losing your voice doesn't mean losing your power to inspire, and that sometimes the greatest performances happen not on stage or screen, but in the quiet moments when we choose courage over fear. Michael J. Fox and Linda Ronstadt, Parkinson's Warriors. Michael J. Fox made us believe in time travel, family values, and the power of determination. As Marty McFly and Alex P. Keaton, he embodied the optimism and energy of an entire generation. His smile was infectious, his timing perfect, his future seemingly limitless. Then Parkinson's disease knocked on his door when he was just 29 years old. For nearly a decade, Fox carried this secret alone. Imagine the weight of that, being one of the most recognizable faces in the world while hiding a progressive neurological condition that was slowly changing everything about how your body worked. In 1998, he made the courageous decision to go public, revealing a struggle he had been fighting in silence for years. But here's what makes Michael J. Fox extraordinary. He didn't just reveal his diagnosis and disappear. He turned his pain into purpose, founding the Michael J. Fox Foundation in 2000 and dedicating his life to raising funds for Parkinson's research. He became a voice for millions of people living with the condition, proving that a diagnosis doesn't have to be the end of your story. It can be the beginning of your most important chapter. Fox has been honest about his past, acknowledging that his younger years of partying might have contributed to his condition. But instead of drowning in regret, he channeled that honesty into hope for others. His foundation has become a powerhouse in Parkinson's research, bringing hope to families facing the same battle he fights every day. Linda Ronstadt's story hits differently because her voice wasn't just her career, it was her soul made audible. For nearly 5 decades, that rich, emotive voice captivated millions, selling over 100 million records worldwide and earning her a place among music's greatest legends. She could effortlessly transition between pop anthems, soulful ballads, and genre-defying hits that left audiences breathless. In 2013, Parkinson's disease began stealing that voice away. The early symptoms were subtle, tremors that seemed minor, changes in vocal control that she initially dismissed. But Parkinson's is relentless, and soon it became clear that the disease had stripped her of the control needed to sing. For an artist whose voice was her essence, losing the ability to perform was devastating beyond words. Yet Linda Ronstadt, like Fox, refused to retreat into bitterness. Instead of hiding from the world, she became a passionate advocate for Parkinson's awareness, using her platform to educate others and inspire those facing similar challenges. Now nearing 79, she continues to be celebrated not just for her extraordinary musical contributions, but for her resilience and unwavering spirit in the face of loss. Both Fox and Ronstadt teach us that Parkinson's might steal our body's cooperation, but it cannot touch the strength of our spirits or our capacity to make a difference in the world. They've shown us that true artistry isn't just about what you create, it's about how you respond when life tries to silence your song. Health advocates, finding strength in vulnerability. Tommy Chong built a career on making people laugh, breaking boundaries, and living life on his own terms. The legendary comedian and actor brought joy to millions through his iconic Cheech and Chong films. But behind the laughter, he was fighting a battle that would test everything he believed about healing and hope. When Chong was diagnosed with prostate cancer in 2008, doctors initially reassured him that it was manageable, slow-growing, and not immediately life-threatening. But cancer has its own timeline, and as the disease progressed, Chong faced a choice that perfectly embodied his unconventional approach to life. True to his beliefs about the healing powers of cannabis, he openly shared his use of marijuana suppositories as part of his treatment, turning his battle into a statement about personal freedom and alternative medicine. Chong's openness about his non-traditional approach resonated with many people searching for hope beyond conventional treatments. His ability to maintain his trademark humor and zest for life, even while fighting cancer, became a testament to his unwavering resilience and enduring spirit. Catherine Zeta-Jones faced a different kind of battle when she was diagnosed with bipolar II disorder at age 41. The condition, marked by severe mood swings between hypermania and depression, hit her during one of the most challenging periods of her life, while supporting her husband Michael Douglas through his own fight against stage 4 throat cancer. The emotional toll of caring for a spouse with cancer, raising children, and managing her own mental health felt overwhelming. Though she initially kept her struggles private, the weight eventually became too much to bear alone. In April 2011, Catherine Zeta-Jones made the brave decision to check into a mental health facility for 5 days, putting her well-being first before returning to her career. By 2018, she had become a powerful advocate for mental health awareness, showing the world that taking care of your mind is just as important as caring for your body. Her journey reminds us that seeking help isn't a sign of weakness. It's an act of courage that can save your life. Wendy Williams brought her characteristic openness to her battle with Graves' disease, using her platform to raise awareness about thyroid issues and the importance of self-care. During an appearance on Good Morning America, she emphasized how women often neglect their own health while caring for others, urging viewers to prioritize their well-being. Williams made the conscious decision to be transparent about her diagnosis, speaking candidly about the challenges of managing thyroid issues and Graves' disease. Despite health obstacles and menopause symptoms, she refused to let her condition slow her down, remaining dedicated to her show and her audience while prioritizing regular checkups and proper treatment. Since focusing on her health in 2018, including time and rehabilitation, Williams has emerged more determined than ever. She's deeply grateful for her fans' unwavering support and ready to embrace future projects with renewed strength and gratitude. These three advocates prove that vulnerability isn't weakness. It's the foundation of genuine strength. By sharing their struggles openly, they've given others permission to face their own battles with courage and hope. Diabetes warriors, managing life's curveballs. Tom Hanks has spent decades making us believe in the goodness of humanity, from Forrest Gump's simple wisdom to countless characters who reminded us that ordinary people can do extraordinary things. But in 2013, he faced a diagnosis that brought his own mortality into sharp focus: type 2 diabetes. Hanks linked his condition to both genetics and past dietary habits, acknowledging that his journey to diabetes began when he was first told he was pre-diabetic. Rather than seeing this as a death sentence, he treated it as a wake-up call. Determined to take control of his health, Hanks set out on a mission to regain the physique he had during his high school years. The transformation required substantial lifestyle changes. He now dedicates an hour each day to staying active, whether walking, using the treadmill, or hiking with his dog. Recognizing the impact of his previous unhealthy eating habits, Hanks completely transformed his diet, becoming more conscious of what he consumes. While he admits to the occasional indulgence, he remains fully committed to monitoring his food intake and maintaining his health. Halle Berry took extra precautions during the COVID-19 pandemic, especially given her diabetes diagnosis in her early 20s. In an interview with Variety, she opened up about her concerns regarding the virus and the strict measures she followed to stay safe. While diabetes doesn't make people more likely to contract viruses, it can lead to more severe complications if infected. Berry's cautious mindset extends beyond pandemic concerns. While filming John Wick. Chapter 3. Parabellum, she cracked 3 ribs, initially thinking it might be related to a bone condition before realizing that diabetes made her more prone to fractures. Despite these setbacks, Berry refused to let health challenges slow her down, keeping her fitness routine going at home and getting creative by using her 6-year-old son as a weight for squats. Nick Jonas has been living with type 1 diabetes since he was 13, transforming a childhood diagnosis into a platform for advocacy and hope. His partnership with Dexcom for a Super Bowl ad featuring the revolutionary Dexcom G7 CGM system showcased how technology can greatly improve diabetes management. Jonas remembers feeling isolated and uncertain about the future when he was first diagnosed at age 13. Through his collaboration with Dexcom, he aims to empower others facing similar challenges, demonstrating how modern technology can remove barriers and provide real-time glucose data without traditional fingerstick tests. As he prepares for the release of a new Jonas Brothers album, Jonas continues to prioritize balance in his life, combining his advocacy efforts with his music career. His partnership with Dexcom makes him a powerful voice for diabetes research, inspiring millions with his unshakable resilience and determination. These 3 warriors prove that a diabetes diagnosis doesn't have to limit your dreams. It can become the foundation for helping others while living your fullest life possible. The Brave Faces, Finding Hope in the Darkness. Bruce Willis gave us action heroes who never backed down, characters who faced impossible odds with unwavering determination. From Die Hard's John McClane to countless other roles, he embodied the kind of strength that made audiences believe anything was possible. Now he's facing his greatest challenge yet, frontotemporal dementia, a diagnosis that became public in February 2023. The struggle became known to the world in March 2022 when Willis made the difficult decision to retire from acting, citing increasing communication challenges. Frontotemporal dementia primarily affects behavior and language rather than memory, and the diagnosis came as a shock to his loved ones. His daughter Tallulah has shared that while the disease is aggressive, they find solace in the special moments they share, often bonding through music. Emma, his wife, has opened up about the harsh realities of caregiving, emphasizing that while it's a tough journey, understanding Bruce's condition provides a small sense of relief. Despite the challenges they face, the Willis family continues to celebrate life's milestones on social media, cherishing the connections that bring them joy. Through every hardship, their love and resilience shine brightly, offering hope and inspiration to others in similar situations. Though the future may be uncertain, the strength of the Willis family remains unshakable, drawn from their deep, unwavering bond. Their openness about the journey reminds us that love doesn't diminish in the face of illness. It often grows stronger. Selena Gomez has emerged as a fierce advocate for lupus awareness, using her platform to share her personal journey with the autoimmune disorder that causes chronic inflammation in various organs. Lupus leads to symptoms such as pain, fatigue, and rashes, but Gomez has faced these challenges while also enduring public scrutiny about her appearance. Despite facing the physical challenges of lupus, including undergoing a kidney transplant and chemotherapy, as well as enduring public heartbreaks, Gomez has turned her struggles into a source of inspiration for others.
Lupus community. As many of you know, I was diagnosed, or might not know, I was diagnosed with lupus about 5 or 6 years ago. I've been speaking out about my situation to raise awareness of the disease so people see a doctor right away if they feel like they have any symptoms. And just so that, honestly, people can understand what it means to live with lupus. I also want people to know why research is so important and why we must support the scientists who bring all the promise of new discoveries.
She's felt compelled to address unsolicited comments regarding her body, particularly fluctuations in water weight caused by the medications she takes to manage lupus. Treatment for lupus is highly individualized, with medications like corticosteroids and hydroxychloroquine commonly prescribed to control inflammation. While these treatments can be life-saving, they come with side effects such as headaches, fatigue, and weight changes. For those living with lupus or other autoimmune diseases, managing these treatments can be a difficult and often frustrating process. Through her openness, Gomez is encouraging greater understanding and empathy, shedding light on the realities of living with lupus. Her courage in sharing her story helps others feel less alone in their own battles. Morgan Freeman, the voice that has narrated countless stories and brought wisdom to generations of moviegoers, faced a health setback in July 2023 while promoting his series Special Ops Lioness. Although the 86-year-old icon had to miss some events due to a minor contagious infection, he has since returned to work, proving that his commitment to his craft remains unshakable. Since a 2008 car accident, Freeman has been managing fibromyalgia, a condition that causes widespread musculoskeletal pain and fatigue. After undergoing extensive surgery for nerve damage, he has adapted to the condition by wearing a compression glove on his left hand. Despite these ongoing health challenges, Freeman continues to portray Edwin Mullins, the U.S. Secretary of State in Special Ops Lioness. His unwavering commitment to acting proves that no illness can diminish his passion for the craft he loves. Freeman's resilience reminds us that age and health challenges don't have to signal the end of our contributions to the world. They can simply mark the beginning of a new chapter in our story. These brave faces teach us that hope isn't the absence of struggle. It's the decision to keep moving forward despite the darkness. They remind us that every day we wake up healthy is a gift, and every person fighting these battles deserves our compassion, understanding, and support. Their stories aren't just about celebrity struggles. They're about the human spirit's incredible capacity to find light in the darkest places, to turn pain into purpose, and to prove that no diagnosis, no matter how frightening, can diminish the power of hope, love, and determination. In the end, these aren't just famous people fighting diseases. They're reminders that behind every face we see, every voice we hear, every performance that moves us, there's a human being carrying struggles we may never know about. Their courage in sharing these battles makes all of us a little braver, a little more compassionate, and a lot more grateful for each day we're given.